Significance of the title of Tennessee Williams' play, A Streetcar Named Desire. Marks, 10-12. Answer. Throughout the play, A Streetcar Named Desire, there are many symbols and allusions that point the reader and the audience towards the true nature of the main characters. One of these is the title itself. Not only is it unusual, it is basically the plot of the play, and desire is what eventually drives Blanche over the edge, among other things. In the opening scene, Blanche takes a streetcar named Desire, then transfers to one called Cemeteries, and gets off at Elysian Fields. Not only her sister Stella, it is literally the thing which drives her to the Kowalskis' doorstep. Right from the beginning, desire is linked to cemeteries, in other words, death. Elysian Fields refers to paradise, where Blanche hopes to end up. It may also serve as an alternate symbol for the word asylum, which is where Blanche will end her days. This is also the name of the street where Stella dwells. Desire is in fact the basic driving force in the play. Blanche's own desire for money, position, sex, love, youth, attention, and many more is precisely what drags her to the bottom of her misery. Blanche does not realize that it was sex and desire itself that leads to her ruin. Blanche leaves her sister's place as abruptly as she came. She is escorted to an insane asylum since her stories of Stanley raping her, which are indeed true, are taken as a hysterical fabulation. Her last statement rings a certain truth, for she can no longer count on friends, not even her sister, Stella. Her puerile whims and unrestrained sexuality, her desires, have led her to her own ruin. Blanche does not realize it was sex and desire itself that led to all of those deaths, and in the end, she ends up caught in trap. Desire and death are all one vicious cycle, so it comes as no surprise in the end that Blanche's desire leads to the death of her sanity. One of the main factors that lead to Blanche's neurosis is the suicide of her husband. Racked by guilt, she firmly believes that she drove her husband to become a gay and eventually kill himself out of shame. So, in order to prove her femininity and sexuality to herself, she had many intimacies with strangers. As Blanche is lost, without anyone to hold on to, her desire drives her from man to man, haunting for some protection, or to stay for one night's shelter. Blanche's desire is seen as a mixture of sex and alcohol, and she uses both as an anesthetic to dull the pain and her heartache. She even loses her job as a school teacher for making advances on a student. As a poetry teacher, Blanche perhaps loves to live in a fantasy world of romance, love, sex and alcohol. It, therefore, comes as no surprise that she and Stanley have had this date with each other from the beginning. Even when Stanley tries to interfere with her, instead of running away she moves backward into the bedroom, almost as if to lead Stanley to the bed. The rape and the fact that Stella couldn't believe her story both cause Blanche to lose whatever threads of insanity she has left. Stella left Blanche to take the blows in her face and in her body, by herself, so that she could get into bed with her Pollack, as Blanche claims. Stella's married life, too, is based on sexual desire. Stanley satisfies her sexual desire by abusing her psychologically and physically. Stanley's desire for abusive sex is what makes him treat women like second-class citizens, and what ultimately leads him to rape Blanche. Desire is thus the main thread that runs throughout the play. The streetcar named Desire is actually a cry of pain, as Arthur Miller rightly says, and forgetting that is to forget the play. The title, having originally been The Poker Night, is appropriately changed. Perhaps no play has ever more suitably been titled than A Streetcar Named Desire. Finished. Please subscribe to the channel for more updates of ready-made notes on English literature.